or so, but this is the Me Too hashtag was actually constructed like 10 years ago.
Okay.
So,
Oh, hello.
hi there, we're on.
Oh, hi.
Good morning, it's the
Say
Todd
hi.
and Erin morning stream here on GetBartDaily.com. Sorry, we just got this interesting story about Time Magazine, so it was,
Go ahead.
wow.
Go
Okay.
ahead.
It's interesting. The actual Time Magazine Person of the Year is actually the group of women who are they call the silence breakers. It started with a woman who coined the Me Too hashtag. This was like 10 years ago.
Susan Fowler.
And it's basically Me Too. The hashtag is about I too was a victim of sexual assault or sexual
Right.
harassment.
Right.
And they interviewed some of the women like Ashley Judd and Alyssa Milano, Rose McGowan, who were the ones who basically brought down Harvey Weinstein
Right.
from Miramax. And this just set off the chain reaction in Hollywood.
Right.
Taylor Swift, who was actually, this to my eternal humiliation, was groped by another wacky morning DJ in Denver. Thank you for making us all look like scumbags back then. And I mean, it was horrible. And she was taking a picture with him and his girlfriend. And he groped her. It was disgusting.
'Cause he's a
and so she sued him for it. She went, no, I'm not putting up with this. And it's like, she could have just let it go because she's an international superstar. But she
then
went, no, I'm not going to let it go.
Yeah, and they threatened to do something. She goes, oh, bring it. And she did.
Shall we? I'm sad that she only fined him $1. I would have totally.
I know.
I would have like just crushed him, but
That would have been
he's
awesome.
now an out of work wacky DJ, so he probably
Yeah.
doesn't have any money. But it's interesting. So it's basically essentially the group of women who started this movement. Now it's flowing over Capitol Hill and it's going into the workplace. So it's going to be really interesting. Our own Senator Mike Lee, and I really, really like this, said, I want to see a list of all of the taxpayer money that was paid out to congressional sexual harassment
How many
complaints.
millions was it?
Oh,
It's crazy
unimaginable.
amount.
It was like 80 million or something over the last 10 years.
Yeah, and for all different reasons, but a lot of it was for harassment cases and settling it.
Yeah, and so it was a branch of, it was a office of government none of us knew about using our money to pay off sexual harassment claims to government officials.
And I have to
Which is
say,
ironic.
I have to say that usually we don't do political crap, but Mitt Romney went from here to here with me because he made a statement about Judge
Roy Moore,
Roy Moore,
the pedophile.
and he said he's not going to bend his morals to get a Republican in office, do or die.
And that really is what a lot of the Republican heads, and I'm not saying all of them or you or anyone else, but several of the Republican leaders in Congress have said we can't lose the Senate, so it's going to but
They must really hate Democrats because they're willing to.
Yeah, they really
yeah.
flat out said that
Yeah.
yesterday. We know he's a piece of crap, but we're going to still go for it.
If you have a daughter who's in high school, think about that.
And so Mitt Romney basically said that's
I'm not
he
gonna
said that's
do it.
pitiful, and he says you can't sign over your moral standards just for,
Party over people.
yeah.
Anyway,
So, in
so
any
Mitt
case,
Romney.
that is not
look
everybody.
At you.
Yeah, I
Look
know,
at
right?
You. You're no Chaffetz
We're very proud of
who
you.
couldn't look his teenage daughter in the eyes by voting for Trump. And now, woo. So anyway, okay, that's enough of
Moving
that.
on, but anyway, that's an interesting time nomination. Some of the
Right.
runners-up were Donald Trump, Robert Mueller, Kim Jong-un,
What?
and
Oh,
Colin
that's
Kaepernick.
right. Doesn't have to be a good person.
Well, it's the whole point of this. You have to remember that Adolf Hitler was one of the Time Magazine's People of
true.
the Year.
He was.
It's basically about who has created the most powerful social change throughout the year.
Good or bad.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be good, or it
Right.
just was powerful. So interesting.
I'm sorry, I've been distracted. Catherine wants to know what's in our tableau, which is this. The dead lights underneath, those came yesterday because that's my life. And this is, hang on one second, we'll show you. This is a tradition that we started in our house.
I've got to do an actual tableau sometime soon. Don't I?
So basically, we saved the tree ring,
Where's the first one? It was 96.
96.
I know, right?
Good grief. Okay, see, now there's something else you can tell. You can tell this year we didn't have a lot of money, but this year we were rolling in it because you got a bigger tree, And if you, the other thing is we lived in a smaller house with a lower ceiling, and so the smaller ones are from there.
The little petite ones.
2016,
But it's really cool because it does bring you back all the memories. And once you start seeing them
96.
all stretched out, it really starts making you feel, I don't know,
And the
kind
good
of
thing,
the
if you're-
wonderfulness of how long you've been together and the history you have.
We're just proud that
98,
we're this consistent.
97, yeah, there's my 96.
96, there you go. A small tree.
That was our first year.
Modest.
We were poor, but we were in love.
Ah, the loveliness of it. But when you do stretch it out, it's you're like, whoa, can't believe we made it this far.
You can write notes on the back the year one of the the kids are born
Right.
and things that happen. It's just a really
That's
cool
just
way.
us being adorable.
What's your idea? You're the only adorable.
I'm adorable.
I'm not as adorable
I
as
cannot
you
lie. I want to say the Russians
Wow. The
banned
IOC. I mean, that was a statement. It was a confusing statement, but it's a statement.
South Korea Olympics coming up 2018 wintertime. The 14-person panel from the IOC has decided to not have Russia be a presence at the games. This is the second time.
They're officially banned for what they call a systematic plan of doping.
Oh, yeah.
It actually went up through the government. It was a government-sanctioned
Right.
doping plan. They say that the athletes can participate, but as an
If they're
Olympic,
clean.
But as an Olympic athlete, they can't wear anything that's got a Russian insignia or logo.
No
If
flag.
If they win, they will not play their music.
Olympic flag, and they'll play the Olympic theme if they win. And then if they win, asterisk, are they cheating?
And then, of course, Vladimir Putin said this is another example of the West's systematic assault against
Whatever.
Russia.
Yeah. And this
So-
is amateur athletes cheating with the government helping them. And if you don't know how they do it,
Well, it's not. You can't blame this on the athletes in Russia. This is like they pluck them out of school when they're 5. They start training them. They'll inject them with anything they want. And would you be the one to go? Oh no, I don't want you to do what's in there.
where'd my family go?
Yeah, sorry, it doesn't ride that
So
way.
they use the leading medications or whatever chemicals, and they know how long it lasts in your body. So when there's a test, and then they protect the test, and they know when it's coming, and blah blah blah.
It's just it's sad though because they did make all this exception for them that they could still come, but unless Putin signs off on it, nobody's showing up. So I'm unclear. So it'll all depend on whether or not he thinks it's worth putting them in anyway. I don't know. It'll be
don't.
interesting to see.
It just ruins it. And I mean, U.S. has been caught. Lance Armstrong obviously hit the news. But they, when they were here, see, a lot of athletes do actually come to the higher elevations to work out.
To train, yeah.
Because you get more red blood cells. Red blood cells carry the oxygen to your muscles, which gives you a longer ability to beat yourself up, whether it's skiing or racing or running or whatever. And they found they pull their blood there. They keep their blood when they go to the lower elevation before the competition. They put the blood back in them with more red blood cells.
Isn't that amazing?
Why not run? Just run your race.
Well, I mean, it's ridiculously scientific and everything they've done. I mean, puts them to a higher standard. And
Stupid.
stuff like that I don't mind. The stuff I mind is the chemical intervention. That's unfair. It's unfair to everyone, including that athlete. You don't know what they could have done without it. And now they don't know either, and it does haunt them.
And they've
lost. They've talked about it.
And you lost because you're clean, and you lost to someone who is cheating. And they've actually have upgraded people. If they won the bronze, now they went up to the silver, and they eliminated the gold and all this stuff. Anyway,
I know, it's complicated.
it's just sad.
It
it's
was
just
supposed to be this
sad.
really inspiring thing, and essentially it still is. But that kind of, the doping scandals are just,
Anyway.
it's not fair to those kids either.
So we thought last
look,
year
it
was
is
this.
the Utah credit approval morning camp.
nice.
Isn't that beautiful? Look, the sun is actually coming up. It doesn't look so bad. It doesn't look as grim and miserable
It's
as it did
freezing.
yesterday.
It's freezing,
It's still
but
butt
cold.
cold, though. Yeah.
All right, so we all thought collectively, Erin and I, that 2016 really sucked butt.
It was possibly the worst year ever.
It was the worst year ever.
Someone have actually put up a meme where it had Voldemort and it said, "If 2016 were a person."
That's who
Voldemort
it is.
from Harry Potter.
Oh
I'm
my
like,
gosh!
Pretty much.
And a lot of people agreed, and a lot of people on Facebook, like yourselves, just said it was the worst thing ever. And now we couldn't go anywhere but up. But now, what are they saying about 2017?
Well, they did base this on Twitter's year in review, and it wasn't a lot better. For instance, the most retweeted post was from this man, Carter Wilkinson, who said, "Yo, Wendy's, how many retweets for a year of chicken nuggets free?" And they said 18 million. So he's like, "Help me! A man needs his nugs." Now, he only got 3.6 million retweets, but it was still the most retweeted tweet of the year. So
Right.
Wendy still gave him his free chicken nuggets for a year. Barack Obama, this was during, this was the second most retweeted. This was during the riots in Charlottesville with the KKK.
Yeah.
And this beautiful picture, which of course is from Dr. Martin Luther King, that says no person is born hating another because of the color of his skin
Right.
or his background or his religion.
Look at those goofballs in the window.
Isn't that gorgeous? And it was such an inspiring,
Yeah.
story. I mean, picture. There was a couple of others that were. That was Nelson Mandela's quote. Excuse me. Ariana Grande. This was after the bombings in Manchester at her concert.
Yeah.
And how destroyed she was. And she's a girl who's like 21.
Yeah.
I mean, it was overwhelming for her. A couple of others that were interesting that I thought were really surprising. Lincoln Park. It was just this picture, but it was from one of their concerts. And look at
Oh my gosh.
look at all the lights, and he's out in the middle of all of the people, and look how gorgeous that is. I mean, that's just a heart-stopping picture.
I hope he does better so he can afford a shirt. Poor guy.
No, then you have to show off that expensive ink. There were a couple of others that I thought were really nice.
That's cool.
That kind of were interesting. This is from Sam Martin. This started the retweet for good, is what they're calling it, basically, where he says, Leo and I are donating 6 pounds of dog food to Houston for every retweet this gets. And this was during the floods.
Oh my gosh.
He was retweet. To his dismay,
How much?
It was hundreds of thousands of pounds of dog food by the time he was done.
Does he have the money for that?
He does, fortunately, but
Right.
they've had a couple like well-meaning college students say, retweet this and I'll do some donations. And all of a sudden it was up to like 50 grand and they're like, I don't have that kind of money anymore. Yeah, so I don't know. It wasn't as bad as 2016, only because
Nothing could be as bad as 2016.
my personal view never. But
I'm really proud of myself.
tell me.
Well, it doesn't happen often, but I think I'm really getting the knack of this. Someone gave us 2 elves on the shelf.
Because one wasn't enough torture.
I guess, and here's the picture of our elves, which are really cool. Aren't they friendly?
Them.
It's on our mantle with some Christmassy stuff behind them. And now I have to admit, it did start off a little rough. Here's the first one I did. Okay, that may be not exactly the message you want to send out.
They were a little argumentative that day.
For the holidays.
Yeah,
and then here's the next one. Because I was in the kitchen, and we found them like this in the morning.
Well, he just wanted to do something stewing.
A lot of people on Facebook
home.
were giving me, some encouragement, saying, just show the feeling of the season, Todd. Let it control your thoughts so that you can do something
Really creative.
I came up with that, and
That's our chainsaw.
yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So he's on the
He's
chainsaw.
on the chainsaw.
Yeah,
That's why the house smells like 2-cycle motor oil now.
It's cologne.
Kind of.
Okay, so I'm getting there.
So,
I'm getting there.
I can see
it's
that.
just a matter of doing that. And you know what? I haven't run out of ideas yet.
That's what I'm really afraid of, sweetheart.
Is that what you're afraid of?
That's what I'm definitely concerned about.
All right, so dyslexia. This is interesting.
This is such a cool thing.
All right, so
I don't have the story,
I thought
baby.
you did.
No, you didn't give it to me.
Oh, okay. Well, basically, I don't have it either.
How could we not have it?
I don't know. Basically, what it is I have dyslexia. I think you have it. I have dyslexia and have had trouble when I was growing up reading and doing math. I have no memory for numbers, and that's one of the things. Anyway, do we have a picture of the font? Can you put that up if we have it? There you go. So what a gentleman has done is he has come up with this font for people who have dyslexia, because there's all kinds of dyslexia. There's a huge spectrum, and sometimes I never reversed letters like a lot of people say. Oh, you always do that? No, I would add words, and I could not read. That's why I'm a better storyteller than I am a reader. So what he did is he focused on the bottom of the letters as you can see them on the line, and he threw in different lines and such so that you knew these are the most confusing to a large group of the people with dyslexia, a B, a D, or U. And so by changing the focus on where you're looking, how your eye reads it, it's really helped a lot of people.
That is absolutely wonderful. I mean, see, the thing is that dyslexics tend to be incredibly intelligent. You see a lot of actors who are dyslexic, and part of it, no, but part of it is because this goes back to neuroplasticity, that your brain actually has to reroute itself with different neuron pathways in order to edge around some of the difficulties of dyslexia. Yeah. So what they find is these brains actually do, like, they'll either work backwards towards another direction to get through to the same thing. but it becomes really resilient.
Right.
And it's an amazing thing to watch that kind of improvement, because the brain will still try to find a way to get to the desired result.
Well, when I started using, when the computer came along, spell check is more of a teaching tool for me.
Isn't it
because
interesting?
my spelling
Yeah.
was horrific, and now it's like a lot easier and stuff. But
Your spelling is much better, you're right.
But the funny thing is that when you have dyslexia, you end up using more creative language because you get to a word you can't spell, and so you go around it and use another word. And so
Something similar.
Something similar. Anyway, so that was pretty cool. We should go to Daisy and get some information.
We can do that. Daisy's in the Gephardt Daily Newsroom. She is brought to you by Utah Credit Approval. Bad things happen to good people, but you can get your credit back on track and a reliable automobile. Call them, 801-921-9819. Also by Intermountain AltaView Healthcare. Now, this is a whole new group of clinics, 22, and it basically covers your entire family. Do not miss the open house tomorrow. You can win a Disneyland trip for 4. Also by All Utah Plumbing, Heating, and Air, where Uncle John is doing a special right now where he can come in, check over your furnace, make sure everything's operating at peak efficiency to save you the most dollars possible. You can go to allutahplumbing.com to book that. Daisy, my dear, what is going on today?
Thanks, Todd and Erin. Hello, everyone. Here's what's making headlines Wednesday, December 6th on GephartDaily.com. A Clearfield father is behind bars charged with child abuse homicide in the death of his infant son. Police say 19-year-old Clint Noakes was arrested Monday after his 7-week-old child died from injuries consistent with blunt force trauma. Investigators were called to Noakes' home Friday afternoon. When they arrived, they found the infant was unconscious and had stopped breathing. The 7-week-old was flown by medical helicopter to Primary Children's Hospital in Salt Lake City, but passed away Monday. The infant's mother, who also lives in the residence, is cooperating with the investigation, and no charges have been filed against her at this time. A homicide suspect wanted in connection with a Magna murder has been taken into custody in Dallas, Texas. The Unified Police Department says 46-year-old Gino Sakala was wanted in the summer shooting death of Paige Espinoza. Espinoza was shot and killed on July 16th while inside the bedroom of a Magna home she was visiting at 8360 West Mix Avenue. Police say Sakala fired the shots from outside the residence. The motive in the shooting is unclear. And finally, the Salt Lake City Council voted Tuesday to fund positions for 50 new police officers. If all goes as planned, the new officers will be hitting the streets over the course of the new year. The move nearly doubles the recommendation by Mayor Biskupski, who had proposed adding 27 new officers to the force. Time now for a look at your Wasatch Front weather, brought to you by our most excellent sponsors at Brio Technologies, Utah's #1 audiovisual experts. Daytime temps this week will continue to hang in the mid to upper 30s. Overnight lows will be a tad nippy, however, with temperatures in the teens and lower 20s. Chance of rain or snow near 0%, and the chance of contracting a mosquito-borne illness about now is even lower than that. That's it for now. For more local headlines 24/7, go to GephartDaily.com. Todd and Erin, back to you.
She does. She looks good in blue, doesn't she?
I know, that's a really good color for her. It's because she's blonde. It's unfair.
All right, someone just wrote in, they want to know.
Oh, yeah, the name of the program for dyslexia, the fonts?
The new font, yeah.
Yeah, it's called Dyslexie, if you want to. It's called DYSLEXIE, and it can show you more about the font program that is really amazing to help dyslexics read better. All Utah Plumbing, Heating, and Air, you need to talk about them.
Well, John, I was talking to John the other day, and he's come up with a great thing. You know, when people upgrade and they come and they get a new furnace, a lot of people get the air conditioner as well, because there's exchange coils in the furnace that operate with the air conditioning unit, and if you sell them together, it makes the most sense because they work together very nicely. And John's come up with a thing, and he's thrown in an air scrubber. How cool is this? And it all works out where we're talking about getting your furnace for free. How does that sound? Your furnace for free, high end. Now you can do the 86% efficiency, or you can go the 96. I think it's 96, 97. Savings, huge savings, safer, and then, the scrubber. Think about the air in your house. During the winter, when the windows and doors are all shut all the time, it's one of the dirtiest air situations you can be in. So think about it. All you have to do is go to allutahplumbing.com gepharddailydoc.com.
Okay, do you want to hear a good Tell Me Something Good?
I would love a Tell Me Something Good.
They're all good, although they usually start out kind of sad. But this is a big deal. Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Yes.
There is a high school named Volcano Vista High
That's
School.
awesome name.
And Mike Negdict, I was pretty proud of that. He's a single dad, full-time custodial dad, and his son developed leukemia.
Okay.
So as you can imagine, on a teacher's salary and the bills from medical, it's been an insane year for him. And the kids in his high school class were going, "Hey, well, Mr. Dick, what are you going to be doing for Christmas?" And he goes, "Oh, we're going to have like more of a spiritual Christmas." And he was kind of edging around it, and basically they found out that he doesn't have any money. He didn't have anything for his son because all the money's gone to medical. So once again, you have to remember these are high school students who traditionally are a little more focused in on themselves. They did this really quiet. I don't know how they actually got it around him, and the principal said he was surprised by that too.
What?
They went and did this huge fundraiser quietly through the school, and they bought his son this huge Nintendo Switch gaming console, games, a case, all the
Which
stuff.
is good because he's going to be pinned down for a while.
Yeah, his son's in the hospital, and he doesn't get a chance to go out and do any of these things. Picked up a bunch of stuff for the dad. Picked up a tree. They went in and they decorated the boys' room.
Oh, really?
And they had certain sanitary things they couldn't do, so it was a fake tree and it was way back and all this stuff.
We call that breaking and entering, by the way.
No,
for a good reason.
The nurse says yes, but the
putting
picture,
stuff in instead of taking it out.
But the picture of it, if you can show the picture of this man, as they hand him the present and he's unwrapping it. I mean, this is this young guy, and you can see that he's totally overwhelmed.
And then he cries. What a great group of kids.
We all cry, and everybody cries, but that's so amazing to me.
Yeah.
Isn't that gorgeous? So what a perfect
high school students.
What a perfect story.
What great way.
That makes me so happy. Okay,
right, so
smart suitcases. Explain these to me.
All right, first of all, show them the dork video, would you? Oh, look.
This is the instructional video. Oh man, I want that one. Can you really write on that?
Yeah,
it's
stupid.
I want that.
Yeah.
No, I want it. That's so cool.
Look at that guy on the left. He just looks tired.
I had no idea you could do that. I thought it was just a charging thing. I've changed everything. I want it. Oh, that's so cool.
No, it's not.
Look at it.
Look. Hello.
She looks adorable. Are you kidding?
Well, they're going to ban them.
See, that's what's... Now that we're all invested and I want one really bad, I can't have it anymore.
American Airlines is banning them.
It looks like almost every airline is banning them.
Well, they're getting there, but American Airlines is actually going to do it in January because they have a removable battery, and it's a lithium battery, which have been known, if you remember the Galaxy phones, to, I don't
explode.
know, what's the word? Burst into flames.
Yeah, that thing.
So I can't believe they're writing on it.
That was adorable. Are you kidding?
Oh, my God.
I want one now, just like really badly. That was amazing.
Oh, my gosh.
And now that I'm all excited about it, there's no reason in getting one because all the airlines are going to ban them.
Can you imagine getting like 6 of them together, working your way through, get to the Cinnabon, and then tear off down the concourse?
Actually, I think I know what we're going to be doing for the St. Patrick's Day parade this year now.
Oh, that's true. They'll be on sale because no one can use them anymore.
I know, that's so depressing.
So anyway,
a great idea that's once again shot to hell.
Well, this is like those. What's the other one? The 2 wheels that you stand on and you go around and they burst into flames. And they were a huge seller.
Hoverboards, yeah.
The hoverboards, huge for Christmas. And then also it was like, no more. So
it's very depressing.
They couldn't ship them. They couldn't truck them. They couldn't get them out of the factory because of the fire issue.
Oh, all right. Christopher's Prime Steakhouse. This is like one of those places a lot of people go for like anniversaries and birthdays and stuff, business dinners.
And what we're doing is we're saying thank you for watching and listening to us. We appreciate that. And all you have to do...
And once you get your appetite back...
All you have to do is go online and go ahead and register.
Now, it's really easy. All you have to do is just drop a comment on the show today. It can be on the Gephardt Daily page, Gephardt Approved, or on the Todd and Erin page. Just say hi. Say anything you want. You're automatically entered in for the drawing on Friday. We pick you. You get to bring 3 friends. You have this amazing dinner. And I don't think there's a better time to go down either because right now we've got all the lights going. So it's perfect. So just drop a comment today. You are entered. And thank you.
All right. Coming up, YouTube. They're trying to clean it up or they're using YouTube to clean it up? What are they doing?
Using you to help YouTube clean it up.
Get ready to clean. It's coming up next.
Todd and Erin's Morning Stream, brought to you by Utah Credit Approval. Bad things happen to good people, helping you on the road to good credit with just the right car. Go to utahcreditapproval.com or call them at 801-404-7201. Also brought by Columbus Travel. Columbus Travel has an epic sale on cruises through the 21st of October. You can get the hotel and everything you can imagine just for less than the price you would of simple airfare. You have to talk to them first at columbusvacations.com. And All Utah Plumbing. Your home deserves the best. 24-hour emergency service at allutahplumbing.com. Did you know you can catch the Todd and Erin Morning Stream any time of the day or night on Facebook, YouTube, and SoundCloud, and GephartDaily.com?
Hey, it's Todd and Erin, and this is pretty cool.
We are at the Intermountain Alta View Clinic. Now, this is actually 22 clinics, all squooshed together with some amazing specialties. And the nice thing about it is you can take care of everybody in your family all together.
Now, don't touch anything because it's still kind of wet because it's so brand new. Now, they're having the open house, like you said, on December 7th, but they've got some great things. If you go to their Facebook page, what you can do is register there for some great prizes, like movie tickets, like Lower Bowl Jazz tickets, and, Disneyland tickets.
A trip for 4, by the way, and of course, celebrity guests.
Right here, celebrity guests with food and there he is now, the jolly old soul. How are you doing, Santa?
I'm doing great. I like this place.
Well, you should. It's got something that everyone can use.
Health for the holidays.
That's what we have.
Santa is rather profound.
We'll see you December 7th.
I'm just kidding. It's John with All Utah Plumbing, Heating, and Air. Give us a call so that you don't get coal delivered.
All right, welcome back to the Todd and Erin Morning Stream, GephartDaily.com. Evidently, there is dirt on the internet. What?
Well, this is actually kind of cool. YouTube, of course, they are so beyond maximum capacity that it's ridiculous.
What's that mean?
I mean,
what those words you just used?
Well, just think about it. Just in the last 6 months, they've had to dump out 2 million videos, 2 million for violent extremist content. And that's just in the last 6 months. And those are just the ones they caught. 2 million. If you take a look at it, they say 180,000 people would have to work 40 weeks to amass the same level of content that their algorithms do, trying to knock out stuff that's offensive and objectionable.
Well, I
and
imagine
unhealthy.
they depend on us quite a bit as far as doing that. I know on
People
Facebook,
reporting. Please
I
report.
report stuff all the time because I know people probably have the right feeling in their heart about protecting animals, but the video they show, I'm not even going to tell you.
It's torture porn.
It is torture. And they go, look how bad this is. Well, you just made me watch it.
And it's not from an animal rights group. It's from a robot that's making a buttload of money off the Facebook page where it's racking up the likes and then
Right.
it sells for advertising.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with animals.
Animals.
It doesn't care about what your feelings are. It just
Plus,
wants to horrify
if
you.
your kid, I have images in my head now I cannot get rid of. And if my 6-year-old had seen that,
Well, and it's the same thing on YouTube.
so I report it. I report it every time. And one of our friends on Facebook, I go to them and I say, maybe there's a better way. I explain what Erin said about the robots and how they're getting money for this. And I said, maybe there's a better way for you to
Express your love and your
further the cause.
Yeah, your fierceness for animals. But they even have YouTube Kids, and they've had a lot of stuff that slipped through there too, especially child predator stuff. So what they're doing is they're going to hire 10,000 new people, and these are people all over the country, and you can work from home, which I thought was cool.
This and watch videos of
And so-
kittens playing?
I know, and so the CEO Susan said that the goal here is that they'll do a training for everybody.
I want to do it.
And because what it is you see the algorithm, and algorithms can catch a lot of things, but a lot of times you need human eyes to review or to
Right.
figure out, or
Are
lots
you-
of times
yeah.
there's things you can catch, like maybe it'll click up a couple of things to go, I'm not sure about this because I'm a computer program, and then you click through and you watch it.
Right.
So they're going to have 10,000 new people. You can be all over the country, and you're basically helping police
I want
YouTube.
to do that.
Wouldn't that be a cool second job?
It would.
Because I'd have enormous satisfaction going, you're blocked for life.
It's the only
For the horrible people?
It's the only job that goofing off on the internet would actually pay you money.
No, there's actually a lot of those, fortunately.
Are there?
Yes, we just need to find more of them.
Until you get caught, and then you're fired.
But it's interesting. Yeah, because they've had some problems. There was a hate preacher that got a ton of coverage until they actually caught him. But by then they had lost all this advertising from major
Right.
advertisers who went,
Right.
I'm not going to be on this.
Right.
So if it's something that interests you, you can actually go to YouTube and they'll have a thing where it's listed as jobs. and you can take a look there. But
I
it's going to be
wanna
a huge
do that.
hiring drive over the next few months.
So we talked to our friend Steve yesterday. Steve drove up in his big brown truck, delivering goodies for the Christmas season. And
we love.
it was nice to see him. And now the union is...
Look, they even have UPS socks. Did you see his socks?
It's unbelievable. Support hose. Well, in Boston, the union is going up against them.
That's surprising because I asked
Against
Steve what his
UPS.
holiday delivery schedule is like, and he goes, "Oh, it's like 90 hours." He was very matter of fact about it. But I guess they announced in Boston during some of the unionized areas.
He's a FedEx, right?
No, he's UPI.
Is he? Okay, so yeah, in Boston they were doing 70 hours a week. Now, when they get closer to Christmas, it's really funny because they give him a helper. And then Steve gets to pull up, and he's got his list of where he's going. And the guy, he pulls the packages, and the guy runs from the truck to the house and back.
Man, you'll never need to pay for a gym again, will you?
No. No, and so that's what happens. But basically they're saying because they... This is the statement. UPS failed to plan ahead and hire seasonal drivers for the holidays. How are you a delivery service and not plan ahead for Christmas?
That's hard for me to believe because they're terrifying. I mean, they have routes down to the thing now where you only make right turns because it shaves off that many seconds. I mean,
there's a computer program, and we learned this, is that they fill up your truck in a certain way, obviously, so that you can get the packages off faster, and then they give you the route, and it's put into your GPS unit, and it gives you directions turn by turn, and only right-hand turns because you don't have to wait for the light.
I mean, it's fascinating. It really is. So it's hard for me to believe that it was a not plan ahead situation, but... So what do they say?
Here's a quote.
Our employees' scheduled work week is in compliance with the Department of Transportation requirements. Union-represented employees are paid time and a half for work above 40 hours a week, and they receive the industry's most attractive compensation and benefits program. This is true. They also added, we did actually hire an additional 95,000 personnel to work as our facilities and drivers' helpers. So
There you go.
yeah,
I think they should dress the helpers up like elves.
that would be super adorable.
I think they would.
That would be, but you know what they should really have are BB guns. So if you see the cars trailing you that are the porch pirate people who are trailing so they can steal it, they could BB gun their tires and flatten them and go, bye.
Steve, our friend who drives for UPS, he's like the fastest person I ever seen to come up with a dog treat.
Oh, he's adorable.
Because it's like the dog comes out and he goes, treat.
Zing! I know, right?
Just hey, coming up next, there's a really important message we want to share with you about our little babies in the state of Utah, and there's something that can help moms, and that's coming up next.
The Todd and Erin Morning Stream is brought to you by Fink and McGregor, Mortgages Made Simple. If you go to fink-mcgregor.com, you'll find out that you can get a mortgage with a credit score as low as 600. Fink and McGregor, also by the Vein Clinic. If you go to theveinclinic.com, you can schedule an appointment and find out some amazing options for pain-free removal of varicose veins and spider veins. Your legs can look great again with the Vein Clinic. And also by Black Diamond Experts. They're experts in electric, plumbing, heating, and air. They also have a brand new store up in Ogden now. If you'd like to reach them, you can go to blackdiamondexperts.com.
Apply today
and drive away.
All right, so where did you get this information?
This is
by
the
way?
single most painful thing ever. We talked to Doug Goldsmith, who is the head of services down at the Children's Center, which is an incredible organization. You and I have done work with them many times for children. These are at-risk kids. And the goal, of course, is to help them from the very beginning on. But he, of course, is an expert in child psychology. And we were talking to him about the latest newborn that was, he was killed by his father. And it's, I remember you rationing my caffeine intake when I was pregnant. We were so careful and we tried everything.
Right.
And most of us do, 99.99% of us do everything in the world to make sure our kids are safe and that they have the best start and that they have everything they need because you would give your life for your kids. So when you see somebody who takes the life of their child, the person that the baby should be able to count it more than anyone in the world. It's the most brutal, painful thing. And what Dr. Goldsmith said was, number one, he says there's an 8-week period after a child is born. They call it the purple period.
Purple period. What is that?
Because you really can't calm the kid down from crying. If the baby's going to cry, the baby's going to cry. There's not a lot you can do. You can
Right.
obviously do all the tricks and
So if
caring.
so if one of the parents has a weakness,
So if you're overwhelmed
that.
and you're freaked out, or there's
Right.
a million other things, and traditionally most of the fatalities do happen through the male involved in the household, but he said there's nothing wrong with saying, I can't do this, I need help.
Right.
There's crisis nurseries all up and down the Wasatch Front, and I'm going to put a big list of them up on Facebook today, and I would really like it if you could look at them.
and share it.
But the most important one and the easiest one to find is the Family Support Center. Now, here's the deal. You can walk in with a child up to the age of 14 and you can say, I can't do this right now. I can't. And they have got trained personnel and support staff. They go, we're going to take the baby. You're okay. You're okay. Breathe deep.
Right.
You go take a break. When you come back, they have a list of services like psychological support.
Right.
Maybe you need financial support because you're overwhelmed and you need help there. They will start signing you up for all the stuff that you need. And there's not a judgment. Nobody is going to take the baby or the child away from you.
Right.
They're there to help you. And by the way, if you want to support this, it's the most incredible thing ever. Todd and I try to donate diapers and formula because they're so expensive. But there's several of these, and the whole point of it is to make sure you get the help you need, and there's no judgment. So if you know somebody's in this position, or they even have that look, and we all know that look of a parent who hasn't slept in 72 hours.
Right.
We know it.
And a lot of time you step in and help out, which is great. But if you're a person who doesn't have those resources
Or you
of
know-
nanas and grandpas and sisters and brothers,
Exactly, and you know someone like this, please, please, please give them this information. Be aggressive about giving them the information. Encourage, say, I will drive you down there if you need to.
Yeah.
Because it's like the hardest thing to talk about in the world, and it's the last thing I want to do to bring down anyone's day. But I know every one of us saw this story, and everybody has the same response where your heart just is torn up. You know, when it bleeds for a minute because it's like unspeakable. But that's why this is so important. It's something that can be headed off so many times, and it's not these terrible things that happen. Most of these people aren't evil. They're stupid, or they're desperate, or they're
Inexperienced.
They never had the right training as a parent because their parenting, their childhood sucked. But it doesn't have. Okay, it doesn't have to be like that. So Family Support Center, you can go to familysupportcenter.org, and they'll have a list of resources for you.
all right, time for information. Let's go to Daisy.
All right, she's in the Gephardt Daily Newsroom. She is brought to you by Think and McGregor, Mortgages Made Simple. If you go to think-mcgregor.com, you're going to find all kinds of amazing mortgage options. Also by the Vein Clinic, theveinclinic.com. If you want to go there and get something set up, this is the perfect month. You've got all of your cafeteria money for medical, and they have amazing, non-painful varicose vein removal. Also by Black Diamond Experts, experts in electric, plumbing, heating, and air. They have a new office now in Ogden. You will be glad you called an expert. BlackDiamondExpert.com. Daisy, my dear, what is going on today?
Good morning, Todd and Erin. Hello again, everyone. Here's a look at national and world news for Wednesday, December 6th on GephartDaily.com. The International Olympic Committee has banned the entire Russian Olympic team from the 2018 Winter Games in South Korea, with the event just 2 months away. The IOC says it made the ruling after a year-long investigation into systematic doping by Russian athletes. The committee came to the conclusion that the Russian government operated a sophisticated doping program during the 2014 Sochi Winter Olympic Games. The ban does offer a pathway for clean Russian athletes to still participate in the Games. The IOC says they can still compete, but will do so under the name and banner of Olympic athlete from Russia. Russia's good buddy Donald Trump has informed Palestine President Mahmoud Abbas and the other Middle Eastern leaders that he intends to move the U.S. Embassy in Israel from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem. According to a statement by the PLO, Trump called Abbas to inform him of his decision, though no official announcement has been made. Abbas and other Middle East leaders reportedly warned Trump of the grave consequences of the decision, while the Palestinians have called for 3 days of rage to show their opposition to the move. U.S. troops in the region have been put on high alert, and American travelers are being told to avoid large crowds. And firefighters in California continue to have their hands full as wildfires burning in Ventura County have killed one person while scorching nearly 30,000 acres. 150 structures, including dozens of homes, have been destroyed, and Governor Jerry Brown has now declared a state of emergency for Ventura County. That's it for now. For more headlines from across the country and around the world, go to GephartDaily.com. And for now, Todd and Erin, back to you.
Right.
Hello.
All right, I got to tell you about Brio Technologies. Basically, what they do is they make you look good. If you're doing a presentation to a company for business, they can take you way over the top. If you want a smoke machine, they can do that. Digital boards on either side of the stage, they can do that. Special lighting, they can do that. Projection, they can do that. This is what they do. They travel. They're on the road all the time. They did the Piano Guys. They were on tour on and off with them for 5 years. David Archuleta is now doing a tour. They're with him as well. They have people out there. So if there's something you want to rent it, you want to buy it, you want to have it set up, these are the people, Brio Technologies. They have all the information you're looking for. Go to BrioAudiovisual.com.
Okay, guys, don't put up this mugshot yet. I want to talk about the story first.
Mugshot?
Two people facing drug-related charges after Utah County Sheriff's deputies discovered, let me quote, 7 pounds of methamphetamine in their vehicle.
What?
7 pounds. That's a lot of freaking
What's
meth.
that worth?
That's like a ridiculous level of methamphetamine, right? That's Roberto Carlos Lopez Alejandre of Taylorsville and Lisa Dupé of Pleasant Grove. They
Okay.
were just charged on Monday.
Right.
Now, here's the deal. This is like a first-degree felony. It's like pretty big. It's like a really long time in prison.
Right.
A long time.
Long time.
So you're thinking, this sucks.
Sad.
Because I have now been officially arrested for 7 pounds of methamphetamine.
Your,
and
your future's gone.
my life is over. Now put up the mugshots.
Future's gone. How would you act?
I'm thinking that Lisa is still enjoying some of the results of the methamphetamine because
She's in denial.
she doesn't seem to understand that she is totally screwed.
Going to prison for a very long time.
Or maybe she was picturing like, well, it's like Paris Hilton smiled in her police shot. I'll do that too, so I'll always look pretty.
No, she's going to prison.
That's a girl that's not really clear on what's going to happen.
So I'd be
next.
crying, and I'd be like, my hair would be askew.
Oh, I'd have the raccoon eyes and
Yeah,
I'd be
oh, yeah,
weepy.
yeah.
But she's just kind of got that little smile that you use on your Instagram when you're making a selfie.
It's awesome.
That's a girl that's probably still under the influence. That's all I'm figuring. The guy seems like he's aware of what's about to
Oh
happen
yeah,
to him.
he knows he's screwed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I
Lisa,
have
God bless her, she's still surprised.
I have a story coming up next.
Okay.
Who's better than Bruno Mars, Justin Bieber, and all the other concert tours?
Ed Sheeran, even Beyonce this year.
Even Beyonce. Who does better than they do from the 80s? We'll tell you next.
The Todd and Erin Morning Stream is brought to you by Fink and McGregor. If you go to fink-mcgregor.com, there's a short 4-minute quiz, and at the end of it, you can find a whole array of mortgage options, and someone will call you back from Fink and McGregor within the next business day. Also by Utah Credit Approval. Go to utahcreditapproval.com because they know that bad things happen to good people, but that shouldn't stop you from repairing your credit and getting a reliable automobile at utahcreditapproval.com. And also all Utah Plumbing, Heating, and Air. John has 24/7 service because he knows that emergencies can happen any time of the day or night. And right now they have a $69 special to check out all your heating systems to make sure they're working well. Just go to allutahplumbing.com.
So, Jeff, you do mortgages, right?
I do.
How do you do?
Well, you go to our website, 4minutemortgage.com, fill out the application. We'll call you within 1 business day. The whole thing takes about a month, start to finish.
We went to the bank
They got really personal.
and went through all of our personal records and all of our finances.
And then there was that little deal about the $8,000 closing costs.
It took like 4 months.
That's funny. That's funny.
All right, I want you to think about this. This is really cool. Concert tours, tickets sold, and I want you to think about Ed Sheeran.
Ed Sheeran, Beyonce, of course, she was the biggest female earner this year, Forbes magazine.
But nothing.
Concerts, millions upon millions.
Nothing. Keep going.
Ed Sheeran, Justin Bieber, Bruno Mars toured this year.
Oh,
made a
Bruno
boatload.
Mars. How cool is that?
Yeah, I mean,
No.
huge concert thing.
No.
Say who was
Loser.
number one.
Loser.
Who was number one in ticket sales? Who made the most in concert tours this year?
You ready? Depeche Mode.
Personal Jesus.
Depeche
Love
Mode.
those guys. Everything Counts. All my favorite songs.
Do you know they never even had a #1 song?
Well, not here in America, yeah.
This is unbelievable.
And they are #1. They're the highest grossing concert tour of the year internationally. Internationally.
$7.3 billion in North America were taken in by 80s bands.
You go, boy.
Guns N' Roses.
Is Axl Rose still alive?
Depends what you call alive. U2, and they had their best-selling albums 30 years ago, and now they're going around, and their fans are growing up, and they have money now, so they can go and actually buy one of the T-shirts, as opposed to back then when it was like
See the concert and buy the T-shirt.
it was like either get a T-shirt or buy a car.
Pretty much, yeah.
So I just thought that was funny because I mean.
Oh, I would love to see Depeche Mode in concert
Better
again.
than Justin Bieber, better than Beyonce, better than... It's just crazy. And they're selling tickets, 1.27 million tickets for the first 9 months of 2017.
Yeah, and the 80s bands, they charge a much higher premium than you would think because you're right. It's,
Wendover.
It's sold to people who can afford it.
Wendover, first concert to sell out every single year at Red Butte Gardens, Earth, Wind, and Fire. Over
Isn't
all
that
the other
interesting?
artists, it's
I
like
know.
gone. They sell them. Do you think the music business was so different back then?
Oh my gosh, yes.
The money they're making now, and I understand that some people do it because they love the music and they love the crowds and stuff like that, and some people do it because of the money, because either it was mishandled or they didn't really get.
Well, I
Huge
talked
amounts,
to
right?
talked to a lot of R&D's, research and development, to people back in the 80s and 90s when I first started in radio, and labels really worked with you, and they gave you all kinds of presents. And Todd and I love this story, but there was one record guy who came up to us at a convention and said, "When's your birthday? If you want to play my records, it could be your birthday every day of the year." And I'm like, "Are you serious? Are you like seriously trying to bribe us? Because that's really funny."
There's great stories during the heyday of this where people receive
Crazy
because if you
money.
play the song and you're a recording what do they call it, a reporting station,
Mm-hmm.
other stations that play the same kind of music around the country look at you for what you're playing.
Mm-hmm.
Now if you start a brand new song and you come out with it, people are going to go, well, they're playing it, we should play it too.
And boy,
for
howdy,
that,
did you get a premium from the label for that?
and for that, some people we know received an RV, an recreational vehicle,
With money in the cage
for
at Las
playing
Vegas.
a horrible song. So
But
anyway,
I'm sure surprised you when you heard it on the air as you were about to broadcast. But in any case, it's funny. But what they said is there were ridiculous costs, and what the artist didn't know at the time is all of this stuff, all these bribes and these trips and all the presents and everything else, that still comes out of their money from what they made on that single, on that album.
Right.
And I talked to label people who go, yeah, I can put any contract in front of someone. I can put down a blank piece of paper and say, write up anything you want. I will still get all your money. So for a lot of these people, especially the ones who maybe just had a few one-hit wonders, they end up with essentially nothing.
Right.
You have to be there for a really long time. So
well,
that's
what if
why.
you're a bass player?
Oh, so this is why iTunes and stuff is such a game changer now, because a lot of bands and a lot of artists, like for instance Andy Grammer does this, a couple of others, where they just passed by the labels and said,
Well,
I'm going to put out my own stuff.
Prince is known for this because if you've seen pictures,
Yeah,
and
once he dropped Warner,
he
yeah.
has Sony written on the side of his face.
No, it was Slave, and he was owned by
Was it-
Warner Brothers.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
So he went underground. He went on the internet, and his following was huge. And when he broke new albums and stuff, didn't need record companies, did he? He just did it all himself.
So yeah, the whole thing has changed so much. But for a lot of these '80s bands, you're right. This is their first chance to actually go back out now. They get to rely on the strength of their fan base instead of having to rely on a label to release them, and it's really fun to watch.
Do you remember, like 20 years ago, when they would have Aerosmith? No, it's too good. But they'd have a band, and they're like, "Oh yes, featuring the original tambourine player," and that's all they had. And everyone else was new to the band, but they'd have like a drummer.
But so it's still technically the band.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I just think that's amazing, and I'm really happy for them because that's very, very cool.
You know what else makes a lot of money is Kiss. And it's not from their concerts.
It's just
but they still do concerts. They'll fly them all out. But what's his face?
Gene Simmons.
Gene Simmons bought the rights to Kiss, and he bought all the merchandising rights. and he bought the music rights, and he owns the Kiss empire, and that's where he made all his money.
Can you imagine the rest of the band? Hey, but I have the star in my eye. Where's mine? Where's my money?
So, interesting.
I know. I can't believe that. I'm excited. Also, they've got some great ones coming. Morrissey was here, but they have a lot of the other really cool English bands. Gary Newman's coming.
Who are you going to make me go see?
Gary Newman. We're
Is
going
it
to go
Gary
see
Newman?
him. Yeah, he's on the 20th. We are so
What's the
seeing
song?
him. They've got Flock of Seagulls coming. Howard Jones is still so popular that he's doing 4 nights up in Park City.
4 nights.
He's that popular. He hasn't had a hit in America for what, almost 30 years?
Right.
And he's still doing 4 nights. So this is the impact of those bands from that era.
And once again, the people who listen to it have grown up and have money, and they're going to go see it.
And get a T-shirt.
And get that T-shirt. After you get the T-shirt, you're not going to be able to afford anything.
Yeah, so that's fortunate that Mickey D's bringing back the dollar menu, huh?
What do you mean they're bringing it back? Did it ever go away?
Well, here's the weird... The chicken sandwich is now like a huge deal because it's now on the dollar menu. And the chicken sandwich used to be a premium at fast food restaurants. Well, here's the funny thing. Since the end of the Great Recession, quick service restaurants are like McDonald's. And they were the one that actually did really well during the recession because people couldn't afford anything.
Right.
But since people have started getting more money now, and they're going to like actual fast food restaurants like Chipotle and stuff where they sit down and the food is brought to them, they'll pay higher premiums. And so people like McDonald's and Wendy and all these guys are like, well, crap. This is like the first time in like history that the fast food restaurants have actually seen profits drop. I mean,
really?
Literally since the beginning of McDonald's, this is the first time they've seen this.
Well, they talked about millennials putting the final death nail. Or
yeah, exactly.
I don't know what you call it.
Nail in the coffin.
In like, thank goodness it's Fridays and Chili's and things like that because they're a little more food aware. They're a little more
foodie,
social about eating and stuff, and so and a little snobbier. And so they said that those kind of places are going to suffer from that.
So it's interesting. For like $1, it's a sandwich thing like the sausage burrito, a McChicken sandwich, or a cheeseburger, which is cool. For $2, like the sausage McGriddle, 2-piece buttermilk crispy tenders, a bacon McDouble, and then if you want to buff out the $3, it's the classic chicken sandwich, triple cheeseburger, or sausage McMuffin with an egg.
I just remember
a Happy Meal. Oh crap! Zoe's going to be after me when she finds that out. But it's interesting because
those toys.
They're literally at the point now where they're like, they have to go down to like a dollar store mentality. If everything's $1, everything's $2.
How do you make money on like the breakfast burrito for $1? I love those.
Your food costs ridiculously low for that though.
Oh, but you.
Well, think about what it costs to make a breakfast burrito at home. What, 50 cents maybe?
No. You're right. It breaks down.
But that's why breakfast all day. Breakfast is one of those things everybody likes. It's like who doesn't like
comfort.
breakfast? It's comfort. But it's also the cheapest menu to make. Breakfast is the least expensive menu of any part of the day. Think about it. So it's interesting. It never occurred to me, but yeah, there's fast food restaurants are struggling, quick service restaurants. So this is the goal now. And so everybody else is watching and waiting. And if they do it, then everyone's going to jump in. So if you love Taco Bell or Wendy's, just give it a minute. All the dollar menus will be up.
All right, so what do you have?
Hollywood. Just a couple of quick Hollywood things that I thought were interesting. First of all, it would be Danny Masterson.
Who's that?
You remember he was in that 80s show?
Oh, there he is.
He just got fired from Netflix's The Ranch. This is over rape allegations. At least four women, have accused the actor of sexual assault. And apparently the accusations were credible enough that they went, no, you're off, you're gone. And the word is that he asked his friend Ashton Kutcher, who's one of the executive producers and used to co-star with him in the 80s show, to do something about it. And he went, no, I can't. No. So he's out. And then another one that's kind of sad is Blake Lively. Her latest features the rhythm section, and it's kind of like a cool hip film. You may remember this just because she plays like a drug-addicted bag lady in it.
Right.
And look, she's insanely beautiful. We know it. But her husband, Ryan Reynolds, because they screw with each other on social media all the time. Oh my
gosh, they do.
Actually put up this picture of her on Instagram, on his Instagram page, where she's hideous, and she's
not
all
that
dressed.
one.
No, not that one. She's gorgeous.
Right.
But she's just like
morning hair,
and it's just pure evil because it's like you would kill your husband for doing that.
And she kills him anyway because she'll come back and just
she'll nail him good for this. So anyway, she hurt herself pretty badly. So
what?
I guess she hurt her hand doing an action sequence, and it's apparently important. It's damaging enough that they can't continue, so they're holding production until she's back. And then Phil Collins, I think you've got this story. But
I don't.
Very, very sad. Another one of the guys we've talked about who's such a hero from the 80s. He's in his 70s now, late 70s, and apparently...
So he's in the hospital.
Yeah, they took him to the hospital. He's in a critical condition and intensive care, and his driver actually, I guess, blabbed to reporters saying that he was not doing well at all.
Like he's not going to make it.
So, yeah, that's the possibility. So that makes me very sad. I've always loved him. We've interviewed him before.
Yeah, he's really nice.
He was one of those amazing singers who had a very low-key charity thing going where he had a foundation where he would be paying hospital bills for people and kids' education and all these different things. And when we even talked to him about it during the interview, he was like, please, don't tell anyone. He says, we like it to be secretive, but he's a good guy. I'm very sad.
And one of the few drummers that ever ended up being the head of the band.
I know, right?
He actually stepped out and...
Genesis, yeah.
And I remember him saying the first concert, he actually had to do that. He had done it because, you sing in the studios and stuff without playing the instrument at the same time. But to walk out, because away from my drums are right there.
I know.
I should be playing them.
It seems strange to me.
He said he felt kind of naked doing that. Good comments on Facebook about my Elf on the Shelf thing. And I should read the book that came with it. I should read the book.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's a reason for this.
An explanation of why this thing has invaded our home.
Yeah, and so they showed up on our... Just show the picture of the lovely elves, would you?
They're super sweet.
They showed up on our doorstep, and it was shocking, to say the least. So I thought, I might as well put my creative mind to the test.
Okay.
All right, so this is a... I
appreciate your...
There are elves. Go to the next one. And then I said, okay, we showed you these earlier and stuff. But, that I got a little off track there. But my heart was in the right place. Mm-hmm. All right, this one and
the crock pot.
The new one. See, I'm getting better, sort of.
Really?
But, yeah.
Really?
I'm not alone. We're not alone as finding this a little creepy. But before we do this, we want to say goodbye. And we want to thank you for watching and listening. And we will see you tomorrow.
And this is one of our favorite women on Facebook. She does she does a fun Instagram app, so you can't really see what she looks like.
Right.
But she's adorable. And she basically, her tagline phrase is, I ain't doing that.
Well, let's see what she does. Here she is. See ya.
I just wanted to give a big old congratulations to all you parents out there who seem to be killing it. Putting that elf on the shelf. Good. Where do y'all get the mental energy for this? That's what I want to know. Your elf's over here baking cakes and trimming trees and pooping Hershey's Kisses. I'm over here just trying to keep my kids alive. I mean, I'm barely getting myself off the shelf. I'm a failure. Got a question, though. How come yesterday your elf was taking communion and reading the New King James Version, and today he is leaning over a G.I. Joe police car in handcuffs with Barbie in the back? What in the world? I'll tell you what, I would rather get the middle seat on a flight to a nudist colony than do Elf on the Shelf. I ain't doing it.